Today we're going to be taking a trip into the lush, beautiful landscape of Cliffside Gardens, created by one of our Discord builders, Medaele. And here they say, "This is my very first finished park I worked on my free time for about a year now. A small little gem set in the woods with beautiful gardens, a huge RMC, a family coaster, flat rides, and things to look at wherever you go. Can you find the hidden cave? How about the employees that got let go but never left the park?" Okay, so we have some hidden employees buried within the park. Let's see if we can find this crazy little Easter egg. So there it is. That is the introduction. We're going to dive right on into it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Kicking things off with the beautiful parking lot of Cliffside Gardens. Gotta tell you, something's going on in this park that I'm not too sure about. It took me like half an hour to freaking load this park because of all the things that it was downloading, which usually indicates that they've doubled down on Thememaker Toolkit items, which, as I've spoken about in the past, can tend to be pretty heavy on the performance, and I am seeing certain areas of this park where it's kind of tanking the experience a little bit, and I'm really curious what's going on there. We'll definitely take a closer look at this, but the overall aesthetic of the park, from the park entrance to what we see here, is actually pretty gorgeous, and I definitely want to spread the love a little bit and give some of the newer builders, the newer members of the community, a chance to feature their creations on the show. So that's what we're doing here. This builder is a builder, lower ranked builder, their first creation ever that they've ever made, and it's looking pretty fantastic, as you can see here. I'm seeing lots of expert advanced techniques used, tons of realism, tons of effort gone into the foliage and ride decorations, the sky spin here. It's looking fantastic. So we definitely want to provide feedback where feedback is necessary, because there's something going on here where I'm not quite sure if it's I was just checking if there's anything in room 5. Oh, this is cool. As I mentioned, yeah, there's just tons of realism, tons of elements going on here that are really quite polished, but there's something else that has me scratching my head. Like, why did this take so long to download? Are all these fences TMTK? And if so, they're pretty expensive. Something's cutting into it. But then we get to the outskirts of the park and everything is running beautifully fine. So well, we'll have to see if we can spot anything out of the ordinary that is causing performance hits, but definitely try to stay away from Thememaker Toolkit if you're new to the game. You know, try to build what you can build with what the game provides, because, you know, you're already going down a rabbit hole of so many things that you can build in this game all on its own. And there's no need to download all this stuff. So this is definitely a Thememaker Toolkit right here. So this arcade could be contributing to some of the issues there. But as mentioned, there's so many things that you can build in this game all on its own that, like, there's lists and lists and lists and rows and rows and rows of assets where it's overwhelming just looking at what's in the base game out of the box experience. And then you go to the Thememaker Toolkit and extend the amount of stuff that you can do by thousands. And that's where you can get kind of lost. I've had that experience with other games like Skyrim and Fallout. I try to mod them, and I get one mod after another mod after another mod. I'm like, oh, I want that in my game. I want that in my game. I want that in my game. And you look at the smorgasbords of stuff that you think is going to make your game experience better, when in fact you finally get all the mods you think are going to make your game experience better, and you boot up the game and it's crashing, the FPS drops, there's some weird bug happening, or, you know, all sorts of things, and then you spend all your time trying to fix that stuff, and then you're like, you know what, I just kind of want to play the base game. It just like ruins the experience. So I would say that applies here with Planet Coaster as well, and you can kind of lose yourself in experience, and I think Planet Coaster as itself has a great base experience. So we're at the Wendigo 13. Did you make 13 of these before you decided to that this is the one you want to settle on? So there's a look at all the ride stats. I have no idea what is wrong with this coaster. I mean, it's in the station. It's not moving. Nobody's getting off the ride. So there's obviously something wrong with your operation times that has me curious. Full load, any load. There we go. Yeah, something wacky's going on with your coaster here. Anyways, we're gonna give it a ride. I mean, I've been waiting here for like a minute and the coaster hasn't even left yet. So definitely one thing to consider when you're building a ride is actually testing that ride to see if it's functional and if the guests are not, you know, peeing themselves in line because they've been waiting an hour for this thing to leave. I don't even think the ride is functional at this point, and I'm just literally gonna close it down and throw it into test mode. All right, for a junior Wendigo, it actually picked up some speed. It had some length to it. It had some traversal elements. Not too bad, not too bad. I definitely think you could have wound it out a little bit more, maybe passed underneath this bridge here into the lake and come back, as it does pick up some speed there. You maybe just run it out a little bit longer. But yeah, pretty decent little Wendigo there, for sure. And the theming in the surrounding area is really nice as well. It's all looking really nice. Love this open plaza area. Holy good googly moogly. We can give this a little go. Could take a look at the whole park here. Oh! There's a massive RMC in the background there, as you guys can see. This is what caught my attention when this submission came in, and that is the turquoise. Everybody in your park has to pee from what I'm noticing, so maybe a couple bathrooms might help. I did download any custom images that were sent to me. I'm not seeing them load here. There is a problem when, if you attach an image after you've uploaded it and then you've saved and updated it, the images won't show up. So you have to like make sure you upload all your images, make sure everything's working fine, save your game, reopen it, then upload it, and then everything should be loading up properly. It's a common mistake I see a lot of people making, and honestly, I wish Frontier made it a little bit more intuitive and reliable to add images. So this one, we have all three trains coming in at the same time. So your block sections are definitely not working properly or not spaced out properly, which is going to cause a bit of a traffic jam here. So something to consider there with your block sections. We're seeing that with the junior Wendigo as well. I do like the transfer tracks and the boarding station design here, but basically as this one's getting to the top of the lift, this one should be coming in. So maybe if you're not able to design multiple block sections on a coaster properly, maybe just try to make a coaster that has 1 or 2 trains total. So let's take a look at this. This is the turquoise, and it's green across the board. There's a look at the stats. We have 1,500 meters in length. Your max speeds are 63 miles per hour, but the duration's insanely long compared to the track length, because the duration is counting in the fact that they have to sit there and wait for forever. So hopefully the coaster is good, because all the other things are not so great so far in terms of design here. We're gonna do look forward and ride the back, and off we go. Yeah, pretty surprisingly fun design on that. Definitely picked up some speed there. Had some really good vistas and viewpoints throughout the forest and traveling through all the hills. Really beautiful. So let's give it another ride in track view so that we can experience the flow of the track itself. I actually think there's 4 coasters running on this, which is actually really crazy. Actually quite a nice smooth POV from the track view experience there. I had a thought come to mind as we're traveling through these hills. As you can see, there's a lot of trees, and that might actually contribute to some of those frame hits that we're talking about. They do a pretty good job of LOD loading out the trees, so not always are they that big of a problem. But I guess as some feedback to the creator here is sometimes you only need to really build what you see from the from the perspective. I don't even think having this in the background is that necessary because it already exists in the like kind of the skybox background, right? If this was just not there at all, I don't even think you would notice it because it's kind of out of the sight lines, right? Maybe these forward arching hills here is fine, but again, the point is only really need to build what you need to see, right? Because there are a lot of trees throughout this background here that I don't think are that necessary. What is this? Is this a Planet Coaster thing? Grass. Holy 528 scenery objects for a grass field? I think that might be holy crap, my frames just went up. So yeah, those might be all individually modeled. What the heck is that? Is this why it took so long to download? You get like 10 extra frames right there. So I don't know how many more little patches and things like that. But one thing you could do to get around that is just do a really good job of painting the terrain. They have really nice painting tools, or I don't know if that makes a big difference having that there, right? Just more decorations is fine. So that is a peculiar choice where, that's where I think you get lost in the madness of, there's a thing I could download. I should try putting this in my park and just using everything that's on the theme shop. I did notice some lighting, so I wanted to take a look at that lighting. Ooh, interesting. Now I know why it's called turquoise. Really cool. Oh, it's got some taking pictures over there. It's very neat. Let's see the rest of the park here. It's well lit, definitely well lit. I think your lighting's pretty good. It's a little bit spotty on the coaster, but RMCs are really hard to get the lighting on because it's such a big coaster design. We have another skinned ride here. So I was taking a poke around before I started the episode to figure out what's the deal with the hidden guests or the hidden staff. But I can go into the game and go into park management, go to my staff, and I can find out what they're all doing. And I clicked on every single one of them, and there's none of them are like hidden. They're all just doing their job. So maybe there's like a little memorial somewhere in the park, but I couldn't seem to find it. I don't really know what the deal is with that. The guests are going in here. Where are they going? Oh, it's just the toilets. I thought maybe you had more staff facility stuff built in. Now you can see here. See how my computer's dying when I look right here? This is like, whatever this is, it's right here that's killing my computer. What is this? Oh my God. 274 objects? This is thousands of pieces. There's more pieces here on this building top than it takes somebody to make a coaster blueprint. And oh my goodness, this might be your culprit here. I got a lot of frames, and how many bushes are here? Might be these picket fences? That did help a lot. 100 objects for these picket fences. But I did notice that when I looked at this side of the park, I was like, what is happening to my frame rate here? These might also be TMTK. Tall grass. Yeah, whoever modeled this used a lot of polygons. And I think this alone really, really hurts the performance of the game. And you got to be careful when you're using these things. And this is just a wide message to anyone using Thememaker Toolkit or getting into Planet Coaster. Well, this is obviously a builder. Like I said, you'll see these things on the workshop and you go, oh, that'll improve my park. Well, actually, no, it won't. It'll do the exact opposite. Maybe, and there's still something crazy going on here. These flowers, it's got to be these flowers. Yes, something bananas with those. Yep, the game's running perfectly now. So whoever designed these flowers built them like piece by piece by piece in Blender with like thousands of polygons. And that is just not a good idea. Wow, look how much better the park is running now. Still not perfect. There's it's just like I'm playing Mr. Detective here, trying to figure out what is killing performance. And oh, it's probably these rocks? No, that's Planet Coaster. So yeah, I guess moral of the story is be mindful of what you download and use it sparingly. We've talked about this before, but I don't think the newer builders to the game quite understand it yet. And I just want to bring that. It's a good discussion point. These look all custom as well. That could be part of it, but you know, they can do a lot to make things interesting and cool for certain rides, as you saw from the last episode where we saw the city of Atlantis underwater, and that none of that would have been possible with without the Thememaker Toolkit. So, you know, there's certain points where I absolutely think it lends aid to your creation and makes for a better experience overall. And then there's some times where I think people could be completely oblivious. Yes, it's these rocks. I found it. This is the #1 culprit. So yeah, the 480 of these, and you can actually count the polygons on them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 polygons a rock times each section times 488. So right now I'm getting 24 FPS. Let's get rid of them. 30 FPS. It's not perfect. What is happening here? There's more. That's why we didn't get rid of them all. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is bananas. So again, I think what you want to do here is use the painting tools. You can paint rocks in this game, and that just becomes a texture, which is very cheap and affordable. Anyways, I'm not going to sit here and delete all these rocks, but as I'm doing it, my frame rate is going up. I'm at 3540 now. So this is a big no-no, guys. And these rocks off to the side, they're not improving the experience at all. You could have accomplished the aesthetic of this with both paint and these giant boulders, right? What am I doing? I'm going to be here all day. Holy good googly boogly. So they also talked about a hidden Easter egg, and it appears there's something back here. Look at this. Got a hidden bridge that takes you into the end. I had the flashlight on. What was I doing? Mashing buttons. So I was wondering if like the hidden employees are down here. I don't know what this is. They asked us if we could find the secret cave. This is definitely the secret cave. And there's a little boat to get out. And upon further inspection, I found this. Is that the secret cave as well? Another secret cave? I don't know what you did here or why you did this, but this exists here. So I'm assuming once upon a time, he buried all the guests down here. Or not the guests, the staff. And I guess one of the settings I have in Planko probably just got rid of them because they're inactive or something. And that's probably, I'm assuming, where the hidden staff were. But again, while cute and funny to do that, it probably would have made the park run even worse. So thank God that there's not 1,000 hidden guests down there. I just wanted to use this episode, use this opportunity to both talk about Thememaker Toolkit, provide some feedback to the newer builders, and then, you know, upload this as a bonus episode for the week. Just something to help the new builders have a discussion around Thememaker Toolkit and show you guys where to use it, where not to use it, and, you know, how small of a park this is, really. Like, if we take a look at the overall project, 60 by 60 border, this is about just a little bit bigger than what we've done for our mini park contests, which all of them, most of them, had run at about 50 to 60 frames per second. You know, when you build a park this size in Planet Coaster, it should, in theory, run flawlessly. And the reason it has not been is because that of the Thememaker Toolkit, and we can see how we are improving performance by getting rid of rocks and flowers and all sorts of little doodads where they do not exist anymore and they're no longer here. The park doesn't feel fundamentally that much different. So, right, you get the point that I'm trying to make here is, if you're new to the game, we have all of this stuff under the scenery, just endless amounts of it, and you can just go crazy with all the stuff that exists in the game. And a lot of this is kind of lagging out because I had to download it for this park in particular. So you'll see an extra doodads like paper. There's paper in here, parking signs, panels, all of this extra stuff that looks kind of different. The plants, the flowers that we discovered, all these are downloaded assets. So I'm sure the Thememaker Toolkit is like a fun experience for a new player to see what there is available to add into your game. But I'm telling you, at the end of the day, it's not generally worth it. I think having like a couple wheelie bins here and there, that is totally fine. You know, to add to your realism, you can put those in the back areas behind buildings, and just one or two here to add to that immersion in the back areas is completely 100% fine. Oh, we completely missed this area back here. This must be the memorial to all the dead staff members. No, it actually just seems like a chill garden for the guests to come have a break at, which is kind of cool. Yeah, we have this random truck coming in over here. That's cool. So words to the creator in terms of coaster, check out your bright block sections. Try to time your coasters nicely, and only put as many trains as necessary based off of where your block sections are spaced out. You don't actually have like an area where the coaster comes up and there's a block section and then it goes, because then that way the coaster will start from there and then it'll go back into the station while the other one's leaving, and then you can space them out accordingly and you won't have these traffic jams. So that's one thing to look at into designing our coasters in the future, and we definitely couldn't even ride the Wendigo because of that same similar problem. So I would definitely just like play with coaster blueprints, try to go make a really nice coaster and send that in for Coaster Spotlight, and then we can look at that further. And then when you're building out your first ever park, try to avoid the Thememaker Toolkit and see what you can accomplish with what the game has provided for you. So those are my big talking points, but the things where I think you did right, it has a captivating landscape. There's lots of points of interest. There's lots of things to look at that are interesting, that like pull your attention. And I think the actual layout and the realism and all the decorations in between is actually expert quality stuff here. The creator is really onto something. They did really good pathing, really good plaza area, really good garden work. The actual vista of the coaster in the background is super compelling. I think you're really onto something here, and it would just be nice to elaborate on that a little bit more and see what you could have accomplished just using the parts that are in the game itself, because then you would have found that, like, hey, I could get another coaster in here, or I could do another little area over here, and you know, maybe have a water coaster, a boat ride, and you know, kind of push that further and further and further. But I'm assuming if my computer's dying at this point, yours might have been struggling a little bit as well, and you just kind of wanted to decorate it all and then finish it up, and I completely understand that. So I think you could have made it a little bit easier on yourself and accomplished the same thing in about half the time had you avoided that ThemeMaker toolkit. So that's a bit of a discussion video for you guys here today from a new builder in the community, trying to do something a little bit different, but also a fun park spotlight experience, as we did get to ride a pretty cool coaster with the RMC there, and a fun little Wendigo as well. So really cool stuff. Nice effort from our creator here today. And yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for me in this bonus episode for the week of Park Spotlight. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye now.